Hi everyone, it is the last Wednesday in the time after Epiphany, and it's time for another Wednesday word. This cross hangs on my office door, or at least it has for the last couple of months. It was a gift from one of my seminary classmates, created in the aftermath of one of the most stressful times in our entire seminary experience. At Gettysburg Seminary, at the time that I attended, all those who were going into the Master of Divinity program, who were preparing for ordained ministry, were required to take a certain number of courses in biblical Greek. And we kicked off our Greek education with a 2-week intensive course where we did the equivalent of 1 semester of Greek in a 2-week time period. It was stressful and difficult to go from not even recognizing the characters of the Greek alphabet to, by the end, being able to do some work in translating from Greek into English. And after that, we had several more courses that helped us to dive deeper into the language. But at the end of that time, as a way of both celebrating what we had accomplished together and a way of releasing the tension of that difficult time, we gathered for a celebratory dinner. And one aspect of that dinner was taking a large number of ceramic plates and shattering them inside a large box. The shards of those plates were pressed into the material in this cross-shaped frame and then given to each one of us as a remembrance of what we did together. There's something really poignant about this cross, something that connects me with the memory of that time in my life when all of us did something that we had never done before. And this cross is representative, as I said, of both the struggle of that time and the joy at having accomplished it together. As we enter into the season of Lent, we are going to begin a time of reflecting on the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And for many years, the season of Lent has been a time that people have focused primarily on the pain and the sadness and the sorrow associated with the events of Christ's last days. That pain and sadness and sorrow are certainly appropriate things to reflect on. One of the most well-loved hymns about Holy Week by Paul Gerhardt is entitled, "Jesus, I Will Ponder Now," and it has precisely that focus. And I think we do well to remember the flip side of that. Not in a hasty way, not in a way that covers over the suffering that Jesus underwent on our behalf, not in a way that papers over our sinfulness and the ways that we fall short of God's will for us in Christ, but in a way that holds together both the challenge and the joy of the life of discipleship, in a way that remembers the loss while also celebrating the life that is possible in Christ. And so if this image is helpful for you, I invite you to reflect on it, on the image of a cross that includes both the shards of that challenging time, but also the memory of the joy that came out of that experience, the joy that all of us had on the other side. And I invite you to make it more personal, to think about those times of deep struggle that have become times of joy or quiet gladness as you remember what came out the other side. I think doing that can help us to maintain both of those emphases during this season we'll enter upon next Wednesday, a time when we remember our sinfulness, when we are reminded of our mortality, but also where we look ahead to the victory of Christ and to what that victory makes possible for us and for our world. Before I close today, I just want to give you a heads up about what to expect in the weeks to come. This is the last of our Wednesday Word segments until after Easter. Next week, we'll have our Ash Wednesday service at 7 o'clock. We'll gather here at St. Paul's, but we'll also have a live stream available for those of you who'd like to participate from home. In the 5 weeks following that, we'll have a series of pre-recorded worship services that you'll be able to access at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evenings. We're going to be doing something a little bit new and taking a look at praying using a new worship resource to our congregation. It's intended to be quiet and contemplative, and I'm still working the details out, but I hope that it will be a blessing to you during this season of introspection. And over the course of those 5 weeks, we'll also be looking at 5 of the traditional spiritual disciplines of Lent, hopefully in a way that not only causes you to reflect on them during this season, but that invites you into practicing them at other times of the year as well. The schedule for all of that is in the newsletter and in our bulletin announcements. I hope you'll take a look at those, prepare your heart for those services, and that you'll participate throughout the season of Lent on Wednesday evenings. Until we are together again, whether it's on Sunday morning or on the next several Wednesdays, I invite you to receive a blessing. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord's face shine on you with grace and mercy. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you his peace. Peace and good to you all. We'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.